Hey guys, and welcome back to XL Medical Spa. Today we're going to do an episode from the beginning. I get a lot of interest about consultations, I get a lot of interest about training, but one of the things I commonly get asked is, how do I even get into this business or start a business? A lot of us are employees, two places. We have the aspirations of opening up a business, but we don't even really know how to start. So I'm going to actually go over that today, from beginning to end. How do you start a business? And disclaimer, this is really just for California. You want to look for your local jurisdiction, medical board. All the states have their own laws, but I'm going to go over the basics on how you can start a business and also be successful in a business. But before we get started, don't forget, October 21st, I am leading my group for the Walk to End Alzheimer's Walk in Irvine, California. I'll put a link in the description. I'm still trying to reach my goal of $5,000. We're pretty close. We're around $3,000 right now. And if you can't donate, at least share the link, show it on your social media, show it with your friends or family. Most of us have had a friend, a relative, a family member affected with Alzheimer's. It's a great cause, completely nonprofit. It's not just going towards research, but it also helps families and caretakers as well in regards to taking care of those with Alzheimer's. I'll link a description in the below. But when we come back, let's talk about how you can get started in the world of medical spas. If you're in California, you've noticed a medical spa popping up on pretty much every single corner, almost like it's a Starbucks. If you've been on social media, you've been on YouTube, you've seen shows like Botch, you've seen shows like The Makeover. All those things have to do with medical aesthetics and then how flourishing it is as a business. It's very profitable. At the same time, it can be very daunting when you're dealing with the medical board, you're dealing with inventory, you're dealing with patients, you're dealing with medical directors, you're dealing with your employees, also estheticians. So there's many people involved and there's many licensings involved with this. So disclaimer again, this is only me speaking from my personal experience and me speaking from a place in California. But I'll go over the basics of it and then leave a comment below about what other things you want to learn about this. And then when I get those questions, I can help answer and pretty much point you in the right direction when it comes to this great field, but difficult field to get into. Step one, with any business, you want to research and you want to plan. You want to find out, are there even medical spas in your area? If there are, is it considered competition or is there enough space for you to open up another one? Now, are there no medical spas? Why is this? Is there no market, or can you be the founding person in your market and drive this market? So just because there's no market doesn't mean it's a good or bad thing. Just because there's a huge market doesn't mean there's a good or bad thing. So do your market research, find out your demographics, and now are you the missing link, or can you add to what's already flourishing within your area? This is the big one: legal, regulatories, and licensing. So you, as the owner operator, are you medically licensed? Are you a doctor? Are you a nurse? Are you a PA? Are you a NP? Or are you just an owner? In this case, you are unlicensed. If you are unlicensed, then what steps do you have to take? Now, every single state is going to be different, but in most states, if you're operating a medical spa, that means you are a medical facility, meaning you need a medical license. So not only are you a licensed provider, such as NP, RN, MD, but do you have a high enough license to open up a facility? And if you don't have a high enough license, then what steps do you have to take to do that? Bring on a medical director. You have to bring on licensings. You have to open up a business name. You have to open up an LLC. So now you're not just dealing with the local city business licensing. You're not just dealing with local permitting, but now you have to deal with the statewide. And then also figuring out, do you have the appropriate personal license, such as a medical license, to open up a facility? So permitting, licensing, and also business registrations are all important specifically to your city, county, and state when opening up a medical spa. Now you have to find out where you want to open. Do you want to open up in a medical building, a standalone facility? Are you sharing a space such as a solo salon, a Phoenix salon? Are you going to be a solo provider? Are you going to bring on multiple employees, have separate rooms? Are you going to have an esthetician? Are you going to have lasers? Lasers is the key one. I won't bring that up specifically in this episode, but when you have lasers, you have to consider the room you're in, and is it private enough outside of everything else? Because lasers have to be quartered within a specific room. But now you have to find out where you are in regards to where you can open, because medical buildings, medical licenses are very specific on where you can and can't open. You can't just open up next to a Starbucks because it's a retail space, because you are a medical facility. So finding out where to open and whether it's appropriate for you to even be open in that building or that shopping center is very crucial. Medical spa is very broad. A spa is very broad. Massages, facials, estheticians, but now you're throwing on a medical procedure, Botox, fillers, lasers, and devices. So you have to find out what are your specialties and what services you provide. Of course, the more services you provide, likely more revenue, but also initial capital investment by you. Also, the more services you provide, likely you're going to need more employees. More employees equals more training. So you have to decide, are you just going to do injectables? Are you going to bring on lasers? And bring on other services such as massages, estheticians, facials? When it comes to bringing on services, I highly recommend you start with minimal services, low overhead, and then work your way up. What you'll find is a lot of reps will come in and they'll say, hey, we have all these devices, this is the projection, you can bring in this much money when it comes to devices. But that's a huge capital investment. You're looking at a couple $100,000 to maybe even $1 million when you're bringing on devices. You have to consider that. Yes, you want to diversify. Yes, you want to bring in as many services as you can to your customers, but you have to consider what is the capital investment and what you can actually afford when you're first starting out. I'll talk about this in more depth in a future episode, but marketing and branding. What you'll notice with the biggest players in this field is you're going specifically to a doctor. You're going specifically to a nurse because they've marketed and then branded themselves so well that you're not just going for Botox, you're not just going for Juvederm, you're going specifically for this person. Although my facility is named Exo Medical Spa and has become a brand in itself, unfortunately, good or bad, people want to come see me, Con Nguyen, and not necessarily Exo Medical Spa. Even though I have other providers, even though I can bring on other people to come in to work here, when they want to see me, they come to see me. Whereas when I do consulting for other facilities, when patients come in, they don't necessarily know who they're seeing. They know they're coming in for Botox, they know they're coming in for fillers, but it can be any number of providers, whoever's available for that day. It's a different business model, but when you market yourself, you have to brand yourself. You have to consider, are you branding your company name? Are you branding your facility? Or are you branding yourself as the provider who represents that company? So those are some of the things you have to consider. And now for marketing and branding, you can't do it all yourself. You'll try to do it all yourself in the beginning because you have limited capital, you have limited time, and you don't want to bring in a bunch of employees. But what you find out is you can't do it all. You can't be on Yelp all day long. You can't be on Instagram all day long. You can't be creating content all day long. This is where your team will come in, but I'll talk about this on a later episode. Branding, marketing. Lastly, customer experiences. You've seen me talk about this on previous episodes where I'm talking about it's a VIP experience when you come into my practice. It's you, me, no one else. When we started back in COVID, I had front desk here, I had my media team here, and it was fantastic. But what we found during COVID was it's just you, it's just me. We don't want to fill up this office with a bunch of extra people. Also, if you've just had a procedure done, you don't want to cross paths with the next patient. So we leave plenty of buffer room, and then you're the only one here. So when you come in, prior to even coming in, you're texting my front desk and they're saying, hey, the office is empty, come on in and see Con. So patient experience is huge. Patients want to know they have privacy, patients want to know they're safe, and patients want to know that they are the only one that you're dealing with in the moment. They don't want a churn and burn type system. Come in Botox, come in for Botox, and then you're just leaving. So you want to make it a VIP experience for them. If you're more of the churn and burn practice, patients still want to feel special. They don't want to feel like they're just a churn and burn. So even though you may be a high volume practice, your patients still want to feel like they're a low volume patient. Again, I'll talk about this on a future episode. This is more of the low level stuff on how you can get started, but patient experience is huge. And for us here, we value it highly, and that's why we say a VIP experience, unlike any other. In conclusion, medical spa is a great field to get into. You may feel saturated, but there's plenty of marketplace for it. But it's how you're gonna market yourself, how you're gonna start it, how much capital investment you put into it, and how you put yourself towards the future. I'm putting AI into the future. I'm putting all this technology into the future because I know that's the wave. Although it will always be dependent on the hands of the injector or the provider and the facility that you're going to. It's how are you gonna set yourself up to be there in the future when all these medical spas aren't catering to themselves on how to amplify, how to cater to patients, and how to really springboard themselves to go forward into the future when it comes to medical spas. So this is a low-level conversation in regards to how to start a medical spa. Again, disclaimer, make sure you check your local laws and regulations for licensing. Reach out to us, put a message in the bottom, and we also provide turnkey consultation when it comes to you starting your medical spa. And what people have noticed in the past, if you've ever trained with me, you have a direct line with me on how to operate your business in the future. So we are a full turnkey solution, not only for our patients, but for our providers who have trained me, and then also for the businesses who have consulted with me. I'll see you guys on the next episode. And don't forget, Walk to End Alzheimer, October 21st, 2023. If you can donate, fantastic. If you can share the information, even better. And if you can join me for the walk, that is the best. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.